Manufacturing is entering a new phase. To talk about it, I'm joined by Steve Beck. He is Senior Sales Manager with Zebra Technologies. Hi, Steve.
Good morning.
Good to be with you.
Good to be too.
And Sean Stevens. He is Business Development Executive with Lyngsoe. Hello, Sean.
Hi, Bob. How are you?
Good to have you both. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
being with me. So let's break down 5 trends about manufacturing that everyone's talking about here at MODEX. I'd like each of you to comment on each one. Let's start out with this idea of volatility being the new normal. Sean, what's that all about?
Yeah, so there's so much disruption in the supply chain currently. They still can't find enough people to hire. Labor shortages is certainly a big driver, and then there's outside forces such as fuel going through the roof currently in this climate, and many others that Steve can allude to.
Yeah, so and what Sean was saying, right, the disruptions there are really like in that supply chain, right? You've got where, you get a hard time getting stuff across the ocean now, right? Getting it through the port, getting it into the building. And then the hardest part that our customers are seeing here is that once we do get it inside the building, is that how do I deal with it? I don't have the manpower to deal with that. The turnover labor rate and supply chain now is significant, and that's really causing a lot of those problems of, we're used to being able to ordering something, online, and we get it delivered, in an hour, right? But this is being very disruptive right now, and it's very challenging for all organizations.
At every stage, interesting,
Yep.
each step of the way. Okay, so AI, we got to talk about AI. Everybody is. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
But what about this problem of data being the bottleneck with AI? Talk
Yeah,
about that.
so absolutely. So data is what drives AI. So it is so important to have accurate, clean data in your operation so you can help drive these AI models to make them accurate. If you have bad data, you're going to have bad AI modeling.
What-
Yeah, and I would back up on that as well and say that, AI is like the buzzword, right, that everyone's wanting to do now. And the problem is, like Sean was saying, it's the data, right? So everyone's jumping into AI, and I don't think they're really defining what it is they want to get from that AI. So they are getting a bunch of data, but it's not the data that is clean, as Sean was saying, or they don't know what to do with that data at this point.
Garbage
so
in, garbage out, right?
Yeah, exactly. Always been, right? Always a key phrase we've always had, right?
Yeah. AI is new. Something that's not new is RFID, radio frequency identification, but it's only now moving from pilot to proven technology. What's taken so long?
Yeah, well, it's a proven technology. Certainly, it's been around since World War II. The great thing is mass adoption is going on. It started in certain verticals such as apparel, retail, but now there's mass adoption going on in healthcare, especially logistics, supply chain, carriers. They're all getting into RFID, and you're getting this mass adoption because it works. It's a proven technology, and it's very effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say part of that has to deal with the fact that the technology has gotten better itself, right? There was always RFID labels out there, but they weren't as good as they are now, right? The chipsets are getting much better. The antennas are getting much better. The labels themselves and the hardware is able to read those, right? It was very challenging beforehand. You had to get very close to the labels. You almost had to have line of sight. And now everything with that hardware and the labels coming together, that kind of conflicts of that is that now you're seeing, great read ranges, 99.9% accuracy. And that has really taken over the market, right? Everyone's like, hey, now we know. We're comfortable with this. We know that it's accurate. We're not guessing that, hey, did I really see all that stuff or did I get all that stuff?
Even as the price is coming down.
Yes, exactly. And that's a key factor, right, that you mentioned right there, is the price factor has now become consumable for manufacturing and across all industries, because it was before, right, whatever that price point was, you were adding that to your market, and then you had to up the price of the consumer, and that just wasn't working for them moving along. And now that price point's come way down where you can start labeling, a pack of gum with an RFID tag.
Sure. Okay, let me give you a word that's going to trigger every supply chain leader in manufacturing today. Visibility.
Yeah.
Talk about visibility, Sean.
Yeah, visibility is so important, and so many organizations struggle with visibility today. Where is my stuff, right? Even inside my 4 walls, throughout the supply chain, there's increasing consumer demand too, where they want to say, I want to know where my stuff is. I want to know when it's getting delivered to my house. So there's this huge push for visibility, not only from the consumer side, but for supply chains to become more operational efficient.
Yeah, and I would say that leads into, especially if you're talking in the manufacturing space and supply chain, is I need, like Sean was saying, I need to know where my stuff is, but I need to know as it's moving through the process exactly where it is. Is it moving smoothly, or has it deviated from something, and why did it deviate? And being able to address that instead of waiting with someone with a clipboard to walk by, and then give you information that's a day later.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got to understand where that visibility is. You're working with less people, as we talked about before. You've got less labor. So now I really need more technology to help me understand where is my stuff at? Is it moving along the process? Am I available to deliver on time to my end customer, right? Which is a key factor, right? So now you're talking about customer satisfaction. So now I don't deliver to a customer. They're upset, right? It rolls back in. But if I know something deviated well ahead of time, now I can address that.
But not just visibility of where's my order, performance tracking, asset utilization. Those are important aspects.
Absolutely. And you figure assets are, everything that's in your warehouse, right? It might be a forklift, might be a pallet jack, it might be a person,
Yeah.
right? You got to have visibility to all of that now and tie all that together.
You're saying you still have people in the warehouse?
Yeah.
Interesting.
A few.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
leads me to the next one, and our final one, and that is automation, but not just automation, but quote unquote intelligent automation.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, so intelligent automation, it's all about becoming, again, more effective, more efficient, using technology to get your product through the supply chain more accurately, quicker, faster. So again, making happy customers at the end of the day.
Where are we now?
Yeah, well, and the three key factors, right, when you say intelligent automation are that you really leverage these three together, right? AI, like we talked about earlier. Then you got to look at machine vision as well, fixed industrial scanning, machine vision,
Right.
and RFID. So you've got to be able to consume all three of those, make that data, good data that's going in there, and ingest it and be able to process all of that. If you tie all those together, now you are intelligent about your automation. You're not changing your labor force, right? I think that was a big scary thing everyone's talking about. Intelligent automation is that, people were concerned about their jobs. It's no, now I can take you and put you on something that you're more effective at, and that is better for the business instead of doing a menial task that we can get away with in using intelligent automation.
Has to be accompanied by process optimization too. You can't impose new technology on old processes, though,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always some process change that has to go with that. And that is always, I would say the defining factor, right, is that the company has to be willing to adapt to process change.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for that rapid traveling through these 5 huge concerns of manufacturers today. Thanks for helping me to define what they are. Let me take a moment to ask each of you to talk about your own company, so who you are and where you are in the marketplace. Sean, Lyngsoe.
Yeah, Lyngsoe is an end-to-end solution provider that provides supply chain visibility. We use a wide variety of technologies, RFID, Bluetooth Low Energy, and we partner with folks like Zebra Technologies.
And Zebra Technologies.
Yeah, so Zebra Technologies, we're the manufacturer of basically all the hardware that's out there in the marketplace for RFID. We're the largest provider of RFID. We're also the large printer company, which we've been known for 50 years. Zebra's been in business for 50 years, providing printers, handheld scanning, barcode is where we started. Now we've got the largest fleet of RFID devices out there as well. We do fixed industrial scanning. We do AI as well. So we're the leader in this field and the leader in this market of tying all that together and working with our partners like Lyngsoe to deliver that end-to-end solution for a company.
Guys, thanks again for being with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Speaking with Sean Stevens of Lyngsoe and Steve Beck of Zebra Technologies. Thank you very much for watching.